I still want to see it. And I know that's what everyone's writing, and it looked like it's going to go through today, so they're going to get Baker and Owies. I'm a little bit in the other camp. So there's all of a sudden, again, I go back to this, everyone seems to think they're a trade or a draft expert at this time of year. Oh, no, I've heard he's really good. They haven't seen him play.
No, and the draft can be hit and miss for sure.
Most of the people who are making comment have not watched any of these kids play football. They may have seen some highlights on a State 18s program and 18s championship, or they wouldn't have gone and watched Hamish Davis play a game out of Vanga down at Claremont, seen 5 minutes on the TV. I believe in the making a right decision. And everyone goes, they stuffed up with Kelly. They did, because they gave too much, but they wanted Tim Kelly and there were circumstances to get Tim Kelly. I don't think this is like that. I genuinely think Owies and Baker will make West Coast instantly better. And it might help Reid, Chesser, Jinby. It might just help that core group who are only 1 or 2 years into their AFL careers.
Yeah, look, I agree. They will make them better. There's no doubt about that. They'll make them better. But I'm also, just to your point there, is that, I haven't watched all these young guys play. I came and watched Vic Metro take on WA here. And what do you see in one game of footy? But I rely on people who spend a lot of time in that space to say that this is a quality draft. This is a serious quality draft. And if you're the Eagles right now, I'm going to the draft.
I'm not so sure they're saying it's quality. I think they're saying it's even. It's even good quality.
Deep,
yeah, that's right. So
but
there's no Harley
going
Reid
to the draft to get them.
They're still going to get someone. They're still going to get some picks. You're not doing this. You're not doing this for the West Coast Eagles fans. The fans can be as outraged as they like. It's not what they are. Surplus to requirement, if you know what I mean, in regards to the trade and the football team and how the team performs. But they're the beneficiary of the wins and losses, and we'll get all that. I just think, as a team, West Coast need to win games to, one, keep Harley Reid and a couple of the others. And I think having a better team to win games soon will benefit the process of keeping Harley Reid and a couple of other youngsters, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, Paul said if West Coast walk Liam Baker to the pre-season draft, they have the second selection. The problem is Richmond have picked one and will simply take him back.
They could.
I don't think
he doesn't want to be there, though. No, that's the problem.
I don't think he would.
And he's given good service. He's not walking out in a bad mood.
No.
He's won flags and he wants to go home to Perth.
But also, too, Paul, you've got a bloke who, and this shows a lot about Liam Baker, and I know Hayes was pretty strong on it yesterday too.
Very.
Bakes wants his club to be compensated for him. He doesn't want to walk out and give him nothing. Hayes says, "We'll stay there then." Look after
it was a very good performance.
Look after him. He wants to go home, but he wants to also do the right thing by Richmond, who've been good to him. So that's probably going to have to convince him to do that. And I've seen players do that before as well. And end up at different clubs. Our great mate Fraser Gehrig did the same thing when he wanted to go home, and Collingwood could have walked him into the draft and had him pick one, and West Coast got nothing, and he refused that deal and said, no, you got to give him something, and that's why he ended up at St Kilda.
I still want to see it, and I know that's what everyone's writing, and it looked like it's going to go through today, so they're going to get Baker and Owies. I'm a little bit in the other camp. So there's all of a sudden, again, I go back to this, everyone seems to think they're a trade or a draft expert at this time of year. Oh, no, I've heard he's really good. They haven't seen him play.
No, and the draft can be hit and miss for sure.
Most of the people who are making comment have not watched any of these kids play football. I believe in the making a right decision. And everyone goes, they stuffed up with Kelly. They did, because they gave too much, but they wanted Tim Kelly and there were circumstances to get Tim Kelly. I don't think this is like that. I genuinely think Owies and Baker will make West Coast instantly better. And it might help Reid, Chesser, Jinby. It might just help that core group who are only 1 or 2 years into their AFL careers.
Yeah. So that's my man, the Goss, on SENWA. Speaking rubbish, Goss, to be completely honest with you. Everyone thinks they're a draft expert. Of course they do, but I guarantee you're going to get a better player at 3 than you're going to get at 12. And you also could have got Baker for free, Goss. You could have got him for free. You could have got Owies for essentially free. Like, Carlton weren't going to keep Owies. So you could have got him for a late pick, I would think, in the 40s or 50s. So let's do it. You get Baker for free through the draft if you just had a little bit of a hard edge about you. You could have got Owies for a pick in the 40s or 50s, I would have thought. And how did Jimby and Hewitt and splitting that pick go for you? Like, you could have had Harry Sheasel. You've gone for Jimby and Hewitt. Like, Jimby is... Jury's out, really, on what sort of player he is going to be. A lot of flaws in his game. Hewitt I really like as a player, but his body significantly has let him down. You split that pick. That was Harry Sheasel from memory, Goss. So I don't know. Maybe he's been caught up in the West Coast media mafia, and like a lot of them over there, they're too scared to go against the grain at the prospect of offending the power of the West Coast Eagles. So Goss talking absolute rubbish. I thought there might have been some more honesty coming out of his mouth out west this morning.
Oh, no. It's on. It's on.
So is he saying...
Feuding back on again.
So is he saying I'm dishonest?
He's saying you're speaking rubbish and that you are just complying with, or conforming with West Coast desires. That's what it sounds like.
I don't wake up in the morning, unlike others, and if I'm going to have a really good day, just kick my toe on the end of the bed to put me in a bad mood. And that's what Kane does. Kane wakes up wanting to attack people. He does not wake up with a positive attitude. I understand why there's a backlash. I understand the numbers of the whole draft thing. I understand that. But let me just say... Let's just wait to see. And I know there's pressure, and Rhonda sent a text in about the pressure on Owies unfairly and Baker to perform, and I get all that. Let's just see how pick 3 goes and what Carlton do with pick 3 before we cast aspersions in regards to the Eagles stuffing up this trade. I get it, the numbers don't look good. But I do believe West Coast, after 3 really poor years, would just like to win a few more games. And I think that would assist them in the next couple of years when they have... better draft pick, draft hand with Barris and hopefully getting Warner. They've got enough kids on their list. Getting one more.
West Coast.
West Coast got kids.
Oh, yeah, I know, but we're talking about quality kids.
Absolutely,
right?
But we've only seen 1 year of them. And it's all very well to say, we're comparing Sheasel with that. Harry Sheasel, very nice player. Very nice player. He plays in the second worst team in the competition. He plays at a half-back. And he slices through and gets uncontested ball. Going to be a very good player. But just to mark Harry Sheasel in 2 or 3 years' time as I will Jimby and or Hewitt when Hewitt's fit and sound. So when he says to use the word jury's out, the jury's out. Jury's out on all of that's gone on in the last couple of days.
Jury's out on every player in the draft. That's what my point was before. It's something that we want to be infuriated about right now, but they might pick up an absolute gem at 12.
And if you want to walk to the draft... Be careful for another club ever dealing with you again.
Well, that was my point to you. I said, there's a lot of... I'm all for making hard decisions, and the footy clubs, if they're going to be successful, have to make tough decisions, and sometimes they have to be ruthless on players who no longer are going to contribute or are going to be at their very best, and you're going to make hard decisions there. But when you start doing this thing here, you do set a precedent for the years to come on who will be keen to deal with you and who won't be keen to deal with you. Right now, I don't want people to be keen to deal with a football club because they know they're just going to walk all over them all the time. But if you continually do the wrong thing by clubs, and I'm not saying help out the opposition, but if you do the wrong thing and steal for nothing, then you will suffer later on. But at the end of the day, if you've got the picks or the players that clubs want, they'll still deal with you. But it's a tough one.
The jury's out on all of this, and I get it. I get it on simple terms. It doesn't look like a great trade, but I bow to better judgment for other people in this space. What I will say, in simple terms, Fremantle fans were going, you're going to give up pick 14 for Liam Baker. You've got rid of 3 and you've picked 12, 14. Well, guess what? Your coach wanted Liam Baker on Friday and they were prepared to give up pick 11. So be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, 10, 11, 18 for
So 11 was Baker. So 11 was going to be Baker. So that's 3 picks higher up than what West Coast have got Baker for.